Fantastic. All right. Hello, Susana Lopez Renteria. Hello, everybody. Give me 1 minute. We're going to go ahead and get things going. Um, we were doing annual reviews for our clients, and my hubby decides to restart the internet. So, gotta love him for making sure that the internet reception is on. So, welcome, guys, to Wealthy Wednesdays. We're going to do it a little different. Not different, but I'm going to be in a different place today. So, welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. How are you guys? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Let me just make some adjustments here. All right. So, what city are you guys all tuning in from? And I don't want to make this any political thing, but did you guys watch the debate? Oh, my phone. Sorry, guys. It was really, we were actually at boot camp, so I watched the replay. Didn't miss out on much. Anyways, hello everybody. Hello. Fantastic. So welcome, Norwalk. All right, great. Tell me where you guys are tuning in from. Hola. Okay, fantastic. So that's actually why I switched my Wealthy Wednesday topic, was because I saw the memes, I saw everything that was going on. Everybody was talking about like Donald Trump paying $750. And I was like, we need to talk about taxes. And then I said, I need to go reach out to his CPA. And so therefore, that's why I wanted to, yeah, absolutely. Very painful to watch that. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys about taxes. And full disclosure, I'm not a tax preparer. I am not a CPA, nothing like that. However, it is really important to talk about this subject matter. So for those that is your first time, if this is your first time, please let me know it's your first time. Hopefully it's not your last. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, we are here. And if it's your first time, please note it on the chat that it is your first time. If it's not your first time, I continue to appreciate you guys so very much. All of you guys, even if you watch it on the replay. Also, I want to know what city you guys are tuning in from. And I want to acknowledge the Financial Bootcamp attendees that just completed week 3 of Financial Bootcamp. Chef Silva 7, awesome, welcome. And they just finished their week 3, and it was a very powerful week. They were all like, oh my God, I can't. It was like their brains were just opening up to what they can create. And so, again, Janet Escobar, welcome. It's your first time. Jenny Wildflower, welcome. Wow, fantastic. And so, I just want to acknowledge all of those people, that 100 plus people that were at Financial Bootcamp. Love you guys, appreciate you guys, and thank you for taking yourselves on and looking at really what's really going on. Second, Arlita several times, very educational. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. Second, if you guys want to get a free copy of my ebook, you guys can go to my website, evamacias.com, and you can go ahead and put your email and we'll send you a free copy of the book. Just note, I might go to junk, I might go to spam, so check those areas because my your email doesn't recognize my email. So welcome for all my first timers. Fantastic. So you're more than welcome to. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about this boot camp, I am the founder of a financial boot camp where the model is you're worthy of having it all. We are in the middle of class, or we're in the middle of the last session of 2020, and we're in week 3 and it's 5 weeks. So if you guys want more information about that, go to my website, go to the link in my bio on Instagram, and you guys can check out a little bit more about it, read a little bit more about it. I would say for those that really want to start taking themselves on for the last quarter of the year or for the new year, we're all doing 2021 dates very soon. Put your information on there, send us an email letting us know that you want to go ahead and get more information about it, so that once we release the dates for the 2021, you guys can have a first pick and you don't forget, oh my God, I forgot to sign up. Also, it is a virtual in-person class, which I think is fantastic. So definitely jump on, get on, and so forth. So I wanted to put all that out there before we start talking about taxes. All right, great. So let's talk about, my God, I got a pop socket that should normally hold this up, but it's not holding that. Sorry, guys. Dropped you guys twice on Instagram. So sorry. So let's talk about taxes and why I wanted to talk about taxes. Again, full disclosure, I am not a CPA. I'm not a tax preparer. However, when I do financial planning for people, taxes is a key component on one of their goals. I want to figure out what's going to happen tax wise. I want to pay less on taxes, right? How many of you want to pay more taxes? Like, please raise your hand. Don't include me in that, by the way. I do not want to pay more taxes, right? However, there are vehicles to be able to defer the taxes that you're paying, right? So the reason why I say this is, and why it's so important, is because I do have clients who one of their main concern at the time of retirement is not so much how much money they have, whether it's going to last. Their biggest concern is their tax obligation. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about taxes is because there's a lot of you on the other side of, Instagram and Facebook that are like, oh my God, I pay so much in taxes. I pay so much in taxes. Like, um, but you really don't know how much you pay in taxes. Like if I were to ask you, what is your current what tax bracket do you fall in? You're like, how many of you actually know what tax bracket you fall in? If you do, fantastic. Like that's amazing. But if you don't, then I'm speaking to you. Now, it's important to understand that because sometimes we think, oh, if I make more money, I'm going to pay more taxes. And yes, you're going to pay your percentages. However, you have to understand the tax bracket has a quite large spread. So if you made an additional $10,000 and let's just say the tax bracket was from 40 to 50, let's just say the tax bracket said your next tax increase or step up would be at $100,000 and you're at 75,000 and you just got a $10,000 increase in pay, you're going to stay in the same tax bracket, right? Obviously the percentages and the numbers are going to be different, but you're going to stay in the same tax bracket. So I hear often with some people, they say that they don't want to pay more taxes. So the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about this is because it's so important that you understand, where are you right now? Are you currently, and this is a question I always ask people and something to think about. Would you rather pay taxes on a number you know today or on an unknown number in the future, knowing that the United States has trillions of dollars of debt? And how is that debt paid? Through taxes, right? And so I invite you guys to just think about that. Would you rather ask your parents, if you have elderly parents, what the taxes, what their tax bracket was back in the day, 20 years, 30 years ago. It's not what it is today, right? And yes, we can have different tax changes, right? We had a tax change that happened once Trump got into office and so forth. But for the most part, taxes are always going to be in our lives, right? They're always going to be in our lives. And so understanding that what you do have control over is understanding what would be best for you financially, whether to invest your money pre-tax or after tax. Because ultimately financial planning, that's part of financial planning. Not only will you planning for you to have more money, but in that more money that you have, you're going to actually have to pay taxes. And so the thing is, learning, should I invest my money in a pre-tax account or a post-tax account, because of the fact that where I am right now is not going to be where I'm going to be in the future. I hear this often, well, in the future, I'm not going to make as much money. Well, my question should be, well, don't you want to earn as close as possible to 100% of your pay when you retire? Like, how many of you want to earn, if not more, right? At least 100% of your pay when you retire. If a lot of you want to experience a lower tax bracket, or I should say not a lower tax bracket, but if some of you want to experience a 40% pay cut in the future, then yes, your tax brackets might be lower because now you're making way less money, but we also don't know what taxes are going to look like in the future. Are taxes going up or are they going down? It's another question I have for you guys. So do you guys think taxes are going up or are they going down? So again, taxes can be a simple thing. Susana set up. Taxes can be a simple thing or it can be a super complex thing. Also, I know I have a lot of business owners that should be separating their incomes, right? Their business income instead of commingling their business and personal. So I would say that if you were that person, there's benefits in you owning your corporation, so that this way you also look at it from a different tax perspective as well. And what would be the benefit of that when having a corporation? Don't just go opening up corporations if you're not going to, run a business. I'm talking about legitimate businesses that maybe by them filing their corporation, making sure they're a super legit corporation so that this way they can now separate their business from their personal, right? Because there's always a tax for something. You pay income tax. Think about it. You pay federal and state, then you get your money deposited into your account. And then when you go buy food, when you go buy anything, you pay that tax, right? Even your income, you pay the income tax, right? For, business owners, you pay the payroll tax. And so there's all different, it's not just one tax. There's multiple different taxes. So understanding your scenario and your situation and understanding where you fall in the categories and then making the financial decisions off of that so that this way you know whether you should be putting money pre-tax investments or after-tax investments or both. Have you guys ever heard of Roth conversions? So a lot of people will do, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but I know of a lot of people personally who will have had their traditional IRA, but they'll pay and do a Roth conversion. And they'll go ahead and pay the taxes up front because they now see the value in doing that for themselves in the long run. But then I have some people that are like, no, I don't want to give up that money. I'm going to be the messenger of bad news. Even if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars saved up for retirement, not all of it is yours. I know. Let me repeat that. Even if you have hundreds and thousands of dollars in your retirement accounts, not all of it belongs to you. If you have traditional type of investments, like a traditional IRA, like a 401k, like anything that's pre-tax is what I mean. About 20, if not 30% of that money is not yours. The IRS wants their money, right? The federal wants their money. They want their cut. And so understanding that, but I know it's nice to see, let's just use $100,000. You have $100,000. It's nice to see you have $100,000 because let's just say you had to pay 25% in taxes and you gave up 25%. You just gave up $25,000. So now, would you rather look at $75,000 in that account or $100,000? Mentally, I'm sure you guys would rather see $100,000. However, it's not all yours, right? And so the goal is understanding where are you, because I hear people say this all the time, oh, taxes, and I pay so much in taxes, and oh my God, I might get bumped up to the next tax bracket. Well, then that's where strategies come into place. What financial strategy do you have so that this way you can, I'll give you a perfect example. I have someone, a potential client, not a potential, I have a client who, she's really, really smart. And she's a teacher. And the reason why I say she's really smart is because she understands numbers. She's not a math teacher, but she has a very good relationship with her CPA. And based on the fact that she's a high earning teacher, she will always, halfway through the year, start making the necessary tax changes, so that this way she puts either more in her 403b or less in her 403b and more in her Roth IRA. It just depends on her non-qualified account. So she has multiple accounts, and depending upon where she needs to be, then that's how she makes the decision of how much she's going to be making, how much she's going to contribute to those different accounts. And so it's all strategy. So again, if you guys want to pay less, and not less because your tax obligation is your tax obligation, a high earning teacher, yes, I should say a high earning teacher, let me put it this way. She's not that she's a high earning teacher, but she makes 6 figures. So I'm going to leave it at that. And so if that's not high, I don't know. Everybody, different districts have different pay. For the most part, they're all very similar. But again, she's 6-figure teacher. And so she has strategically been able to, with the guidance of her CPA and with my help, we have been able to help her plan strategically more or less how much she should be putting towards each account. right? And so, mind you, this is not political. I don't like or dislike any of the candidates. I'm just saying. The first thing I thought of was, wow, if Donald Trump paid $750,000, man, I need his CPA's phone number. Like, that was my first thought, right? Again, I know that's just jokes aside, but like, I want to know what his I want to know what his CPA knows so that I can better guide my clients and myself as well, right? And my clients are not the Trumps of America, the Bidens of America. Those are not my clients, guys. My clients are your, middle class American working really hard and saving their money. And so I want to make sure that they have the same information, right? So that this way they can now take on the responsibility of making sure that they pay their dues, but also win in the game of taxes. And so, again, I'm not a CPA, I'm not pretending to be one, but I can tell you one thing, that when it comes to that, it's all proper planning, it's all strategy, it's all commitment, it's all you actually taking the time and the planning to make this work, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're taking the time, you're speaking to the appropriate people. In this case, for example, their CPA, myself. We are your team, and so if we are in your team, uh, if we are your team, then we want to see you win. And so winning is us doing what we need to do to show you the strategies that are available. See, I think a lot of the times what happens is that this information is out there, but we don't know how we can apply it so that this way we can build wealth and be able to be responsible, pay our taxes, pay our dues, but at the same time continue to build your wealth, a nest egg of for you for retirement, and also for you to be able to leave a legacy to your children. So everything is planning. And so it's now having the information necessary for you to plan and take action. Because I was talking to someone earlier and they said, I remember a few clients before this pandemic, we went through their strategy, they put a hold on their plan, but then now they want the strategy. But now they want the strategy of what we created, but now it changed because now we have COVID. Now we have different strategy, a different plan because rates have been just all over the place. And so I set the expectation saying what I showed you before is not going to be applicable now. We got to live in real time. And when we live in real time, I got to show you what can potentially happen now moving forward, because procrastination can cost you guys a lot of money. I speak that not to like point the finger. I'm pointing the finger right back at me. Procrastination costs a lot of money. And so the sooner you get this done in regards to proper planning when it comes to taxes, when it comes to financial planning, because they're not separate, guys. They're a team. They're a team. All of you do tax. All of you have to file your taxes every year, right? And every single year, like I talked to a client and she's like, I only have a few like IRAs here and there, only because I needed to put money in an IRA. What I just maxed it out. I maxed out like 3 IRAs just because I needed to. I'm like, just because you needed to, you should actually want to invest money for yourself, because at the end of the day, who does that account belong to? You. That account doesn't belong to me. That account doesn't belong to your neighbor. It belongs to you. And so, again, instead of looking at, if you go through my week 3 of financial bootcamp, you will realize that you have money to invest. People just say they don't because their minds limit themselves to say they don't. But they've convinced themselves that they don't. But when we look at the numbers, because this is another one of my models, I guess you could say, numbers don't lie, only people do. And so your numbers will not lie. Bee travels for fun. Girl, we've been trying to talk with you. Make sure you get your trust. So again, the goal behind this Wealthy Wednesday is for you guys to take an opportunity to ask yourself the question of, I know, like I said, there's a meme out there, people doing jokes about it, with the whole Trump paying $750 in taxes. And then they show all the other politicians. Again, this is not political, so please don't post any political stuff. It's not my intention here, of how much they paid in taxes. I mean, I do care, but I don't care. I care what you and the strategy that's working for you, so that this way you and your family can win. Okay? Some people pay more, some people pay less. It's all information, guys. What information do you guys have? And do you have all the up-to-date information so that this way you are now educated to make better decisions for you? You're going to need to pay taxes, but do you have all the pieces of it? Like, does your CPA tell you, you know what, you should probably put more money into your 401k, or you should probably open up any, after tax investments or so forth? Like, you need the team that's going to make sure that you're always putting money away, because at the end of the day, this is for you and your family. I'm going to answer this question really quick. The hard question: save your money, start small, build every year. I open up an IRA, paying taxes up front. Absolutely. So again, everybody's different. I mean, I bought a home with my tax returns, but if you, let's just say, just a concept really quickly. If you get money back, let's just say you never, ever, ever just, I know some people will get this money and then they'll go and pay off the credit card debt, or they'll get this money and they'll go on a vacation, or they'll get this money and whatever. But what if you never spent any of your tax return money that you ever got, and you just saved it? It's your money anyways, and you just saved it and you reinvested it. Something to think about. It was money you didn't have in consideration. It was money that you weren't expecting. You didn't know how much money you were going to get. So why not put that money aside and invest it and let that money make more money, right? So again, it's so important. Chef Silva 7, I know paying taxes up front, yes. For some people, that strategy may work. For other people, it may not. And so again, any CPA recommendations, we do have some, but again, we want to make sure that you guys are 100% committed into working with them. Because let me tell you something, when filing your taxes, don't expect to pay $50 like at H&R Block. Not knocking them, but if you're an H&R Block, like I only want to pay $50, you're probably not getting everything customized based on your needs. Like, I would rather pay $1,000 to someone that's going to help me continue to strategize on things and ask questions. Again, so if you're like, I like my H&R Block, it works great, I pay $50, by all means, that's not what I want. I want to make sure I can send an email, get a phone call, talk to them, say, hey, this is where I'm at. Are things going to change? When I got married, we both talked to our CPAs. What was the best strategy? Filing separate or together? All of these questions are important. Most people will be like, let me file my taxes quick because I need this money. And so the biggest thing is they charge more than $50. I mean, I don't know how much they charge. I'm just making these things. So it's important for you guys to understand, in Spanish, for my Spanish people, lo barato sale caro. So if any of you guys know what that means, it says, like, I'm going to butcher it if I translate that, but, and I'm not saying don't be cheap. That's not the point. But what I'm saying is that, you may have to redo those. I know a lot of people who, I mean, I think even, what's his name? The gentleman, Steve Harvey, like, his CPA didn't even pay his taxes, or there was like a crazy story behind that. So get someone that you trust, interview a few, someone that you feel comfortable with, someone that you can ask all the stupid questions. Lo bueno cuesta, claro que sí. And so it's important that you have that, so that this way you don't end up paying more in the long run, right? You want to make sure that you're getting all of the information, all of the up-to-date laws and regulations and everything that just changes when it comes to taxes. Don't mess with them, because they're going to find you. Trust me, it's not fun. And what if you looked at taxes in a different form? I get it. It's not fun paying them, and I didn't like to, but now I'm actually grateful when I pay them. I say, thank you, God. And I always come from gratitude, as much as, you're like, oh, just gave them how much? But I come from gratitude, because if I'm paying that amount of taxes, that means I'm also making money. That means I have light, I have a roof over my head. I'm able to do things. So, let's be grateful, because if we're going to be grateful for some things and not everything, then, that kind of doesn't work in life. You get to be grateful for everything. So just like when writing your bills, just like when writing your tax payment, just be grateful that you can pay it. If some of you are like, man, I still owe the IRS, set up a payment plan. Like, just be responsible. I know some people that don't want to take that. Like, don't be scared of them. They're not here to, like, take your firstborn. They're not. But handle yourself responsibly, so that this way you don't ever have that cloud, and you're able to sleep at night, and you're able to enjoy what's actually yours and build wealth the way that, in a way that you and your family can enjoy it. And my goal for all of you is never for you guys to have 40% less when you're older. My goal for you guys is for all of you to have 100% of your income, if not more, at the time of retirement. Because what's the point of working really, really hard now to end up with 60% in the future. Why not set yourself up at saying, I want to end up with 100% of my pay? I had a young woman today say, I want $4 million. She's in her mid 30s. I want $4 million by the time I retire. And I said, how committed are you to that? Because I can tell you how much you need to put away and what your investments more or less need to look like in order for you to be able to achieve that. She's like, really? I'm like, yes. If I can show you, will you do it? She's like, show me. So again, if you want to have that lifestyle, you got to make sure you plan for that. So I hope that today you are able to think of taxes in a different viewpoint. I hope that today, again, I wasn't going to go into like the numbers and like you should do this. It's never about that. It's about looking at taxes from a different perspective. It's about looking at things from a different viewpoint and understanding that when you pay these taxes, whether you agree or disagree on where they're being spent, we decided to choose to live here in the United States. So let's be grateful. And I get it. There's a lot of crazy politics stuff going on, political things going on. Let's just be grateful for our own peace. Have you ever given something and not worried about where it continues to go? And somehow magically it always turns out great. So when you write these taxes, when you pay your taxes, feel that energy of gratefulness, because I think right now in the world, what's happening, not just in the financial world, not just in just the communities, I think we're forgetting to be, I guess you could say, empathetic towards everybody, because we're all going through something. And so I would say that we all get to have a little bit more empathy, a little bit more just compassion in our hearts to be able to talk to one another, have dialects, respect each other's viewpoints, and still continue to live in a union of, the United States, and a union of agreeing to disagree, and a union of being responsible and making sure that, I look at it like this. If my biggest issue is taxes, that means I'm living a pretty good life. So again, I hope you guys start looking at things from a different perspective. Yes, if you guys want more information on how to open up an IRA, if you already have an IRA, if you want to like figure out your Roths, all that stuff, you're more than welcome to set up an appointment, and we can definitely guide you. And again, it'll be a quick phone call to see if we're a fit for one another. If we are, great. If we're not, hey, by all means, we still love you. So again, you guys can go, and Ayuda en Español also does Spanish appointments. So yes, we speak Español. So muchísimas gracias a todos. Thank you guys. It's 7:30. Again, go check out evamacias.com. Get a free book. Check out the boot camp and continue to tune in on Wealthy Wednesdays. And I hope for all my first timers, we didn't scare you. I hope you guys keep coming back. Set your alarms for every Wealthy Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.